Magical Murray families. It is Friday, the 2nd of May. Hard to believe. This week, we had little Mickey heads hidden all over the campus. The kids got to go on a scavenger hunt, and that was for principal appreciation. So thank you so much to Mrs. McGill and to all of you for making me feel special. On Tuesday, at the board meeting, Mrs. McGill was announced as the founding principal of Shamrock Hills Elementary School. So that's very exciting. We'll miss her a lot, but we're also super excited for this next step for her. And I know some of you will be going to Shamrock Hills. And if you do, you already know the principal, and she's pretty great. Then on Thursday, we had our SSC meeting, so thank you to those who attended that. And then tonight, we have a special 5th grade only activity, which is stargazing. And so that should be really fun. Next week is our last week of library. Be sure that you tell Miss Angie how much you appreciate her next week in that last week. On Wednesday, we have a PFC meeting at 7 p.m. You can either join us in person in room B2, or you can join us online. And then testing actually starts next Wednesday for our 5th graders. 5th graders need to test longer because they take a science test as well as English language arts and math. So end of the year testing. And then on Friday, it's very exciting. All of our students are going to have an opportunity to go in and sign the walls of our new multipurpose room. So the walls are open, we'll have pens, kids will be able to sign, and so your child's name will be inside the walls of the MPR. You won't be able to see it when you're in there because it'll actually be inside behind the sheetrock, but they're a piece of history. So that's very exciting. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I have a great book for Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is Eyes That Speak to the Stars by Joanna Ho. I hope that you enjoy it. I'll show you a picture of his bedroom. The other day, when Baba picked me up from school, I didn't run in for a hug the way I usually do. I stared at my toes where it was safe. "What's wrong?" Baba asked, and all my hurt tumbled out. Kurt drew a picture of our friends, I said. He pointed at a person with eyes like lines stretched across his face and told me, "That one is you." But it didn't look like me at all. When we got home, Baba stood me in front of the mirror and said, "Your eyes rise to the skies and speak to the stars. The comets and constellations show you their secrets, and your eyes can foresee the future, just like mine." Baba's eyes that rise to the skies and speak to the stars are filled with all the surprises he can't wait to give me throughout the day. When he lifts me above his head and cries, "Ready for takeoff," before running through the house like we're headed toward the heavens, his eyes shine like runway lights and tell me, "Lift your arms, my son. You're going to soar above the clouds." Baba always looks up, and his eyes are just like Agong's. Agong's eyes that rise to the skies and speak to the stars gaze into the distance, like they're looking at the world through lenses of time. The voices of ancestors whisper in his ear, speaking in lilting languages of rice paddies climbing mountains like stairways to the sky, Mazu's miracles showing mercy from on high, and mango milk from night markets lit with bulbs of light. Agong has an answer for every question I ask on our early morning walks. But when I hug him goodnight, he cups my face in his hands and looks at me like I am the only answer that matters. He must feel so loved. Agong holds the wisdom of generations, and his eyes are just like Didi's. Didi's eyes that rise to the skies and speak to the sun are closed so long, I grow an inch waiting for him to wake up. When Didi's eyelids finally flutter open, I orbit his crib, making funny faces and singing silly songs until his laugh grows so big it spreads up his cheeks and makes his eyes squeeze shut again. He looks at me like I'm the world, but he is the sun, filling my days with light. Didi's eyes that rise to the skies and speak to the stars are just like mine. My eyes shine like sunlit rays that break through dark and doubt. They lift their sights on paths of flight that soar above the clouds. My eyes gaze into space and glimpse trails of light, inviting me into impossibilities. The comets and constellations show me their secrets because I am the emperor of my own destiny. I read a brighter future in the stars and will fight to make it reality. My eyes that rise to the skies and speak to the stars are visionary. They are Baba and Agong and Didi. They are me, and they are powerful. Eyes that speak to the stars. I hope that you enjoyed that book, and I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Monday. And remember, today and every day, it's great to be a cougar. Bye, Cougars.